and we'll get to know it better. And hopefully, once you choose a topic, I hope that is not the end. You will learn more about the topic, and after that, if you intend to write research papers with me, we can co-author research papers and get it published. So, going on to the next slide. What is happening here? Is my PC stuck? Okay. So you will see that in my lecture slides, I always have this second slide as this one. This slide mostly reviews what we have done in the last session. And once we are all comfortable about what we did in the last session, and there is no doubts, no confusion, everything is clarified, then we are going to look at the new session. So what we have done in the last session is just so far looked at the course outline. Any questions at all from the course outline? Yeah, I can still hear someone. Can everyone please mute the microphone? Okay. If anyone has any questions, clarifications, or is still not clear about the course outline, please unmute your mic and ask the question. Okay. So there's nothing else because we haven't covered much. Any questions about the course in general? Okay. I'm going to talk about the assessments later on because research assignment is already ready. I will also give students an opportunity to announce something that they have or something that they want to share. But probably, yeah, if you have anything that you would like to share, or if you come across any new information, as I said, that we are partners in this teaching and learning process. I have a lot to learn from you. In fact, whatever knowledge I have, I think my students over the years have contributed 30–40% of it. So I do not know everything, and there's a lot that I can learn from you. So learning objectives, we are going to look at the top 10 trends for ICT in 2018 from Cisco network, and the rest of it we are going to look at in the lectures later. So the very first one, the number one trend that Cisco Networks is writing about or is making prediction about is augmented intelligence. That is extending human intelligence everywhere and at a massive scale. So, there is artificial intelligence, there's machine intelligence, and computers get artificial intelligence through machine learning. That is, they are they learn from human behavior, and they learn from human programming, and they learn, everything is programmed. That's why we call it artificial, because they do not learn it like we do using our brains, but they learn it after being taught, after being programmed, after being coded. So augmented intelligence is going to become more available and readily available, and these machines, you already know of the presence of robots. You already know the presence of your digital assistants on your phones. If you are using Apple, you've got Siri. Google has their own. You already know about virtual reality, augmented reality. So things like this are going to become more available because technologies are around. We started as simple as when Google came up with its Google Glass, but look at now where we are. Nowadays, you can get instead of traveling, let's say to anywhere or any location, you can get the traveling experience through augmented reality or virtual reality, and you've already had some experience of it. I mean, you must have gone to a 3D movie or something like that and put on glasses and watched the movie and you felt like that you were there. So more and more of this are going to become available, and there's a lot of research and development going. And also there is a move to enable humans and machines to be able to understand each other. Already we have advanced in this area. Robots are able to feel, they are able to touch. We have already looked at the use of prosthetic arms, prosthetic limbs. We have already have looked at the way the blind now can see with the aided technology, the deaf now can hear, and there has been huge advances in this field, especially in the medical field, that has enabled us to get better. Or if we have lost a sense, technology has enabled us to gain that sense because it's simply, like our brains are, if we compare it to the computer system, our brains are our central processing unit. When we touch something hot, the nerves send an information to the brain, and we quickly remove our finger because the brain has got the information that you have touched something hot and take away your finger. So what we are doing with artificial intelligence and augmented intelligence is when we lose a sense, that means the information is not going from our senses to the brain. So what they do is they simply rewire the sensors or find other mechanisms to send that information to the human brain, and the human brain is able to then react like that. Uh, so there's been advances in robotics, computer vision. Now, most of the blind people can see, but at the moment, these are like at the incubation stage. So, such technology at the moment is quite expensive and only available to a select few. But in time to come, it is going to get available to everyone. It will become affordable. I mean, think about the mobile phones, the smartphones. The first ones that when they came out, it was unaffordable because it was new. Few people could afford it, and few people could have it. But then there was improvements, there was mass production, and now most people can afford a smartphone. So such technologies will become available for everyone. But then there's this uh, question that everyone dreads. What we are saying is that medical informatics is going to become so good, especially with the 3D printing technology, that we will be able to manufacture with 3D printing organs uh, or anything that we need in a human body. And imagine a scenario where people are not dying because information technology keeps them alive. Medical technology keeps them alive. What is going to happen? Overpopulation, lack of food. Anyway, probably we won't be around at that time, or maybe we would be. Uh, so everyone realizes the importance of artificial intelligence, especially on the data side. As I said, data, big data, data analytics. Uh, those that are not into augmented intelligence, artificial intelligence, big data, I don't think those companies would survive. Okay, I mean, a very classic example is I'm not sure whether you guys still remember. Nowadays we all have digital cameras. Before we did not have digital cameras. We had to go and buy a film from the camera shop or a photo studio shop, and then we take photos, then we take the film back to them, and they develop it. At that time, Kodak was a very popular brand. But what happened? They did not keep in touch with technology. They did not embrace technology. And today Kodak is nowhere because everyone went towards digital cameras. Kodak did not. And by the time it decided, it was too late. Let me give you another example. My very first phone was Nokia. And at that time, Nokia phones were very popular. While every other phone company, phone brands went towards smartphones, Nokia did not. And today, people hardly talk about Nokia, even though they have just started coming back. They hardly talk about Nokia. Everyone talks about Apple or everyone talks about Samsung. Okay, so these technologies are here to stay, and I've already told you that artificial intelligence is already helping us in form of Siri, Google Maps, Alexa, and so on. And this augmented reality is going to extend our human intelligence. I mean, nowadays you have information available in terms of QR codes. You go anywhere and there's a QR code, and what you do is you scan it, and it provides you with information about, for example, if you go to a particular historical site and you want to know what is here, what is this site about, and things like that. You don't have to read signboards, and people don't have to put large signboards. You can read it from your mobile phones. And if you are using Google Maps, Google will tell you that you are near some popular restaurants, or you can say, "Oh, where's the nearest hotel near me?" And Google will find it for you. Okay, I'll do one more slide, then we'll take a break. The next one is systems that can sense, that can think, that can act. We already know about large-scale automation in factories. Nowadays, human beings are less and less involved in production of a number of things. For example, one of the graphics that you can see on this slide is automation in a car factory, and at the bottom you can see the robotic arms doing surgery. And the reason why we have robotic arms doing surgery is they're more precise and they're not distracted. Human beings, we are emotional creatures, and we get easily distracted and we cannot focus. We make mistakes. But these robotic arms, artificial intelligence, they are not distracted and they are very precise. So these things are going to extend our brain capability and take us beyond what we can achieve. The technologies of computing, networking, storage is improving, and we are now more and more using the computational power, network capabilities, and storage capabilities of cloud computing service providers. So more and more information is available. I have touched in this in the last slide that the human body, brain, sight, intuition, touch, all the five senses can now be accessed with artificial intelligence in rewiring of our nerves, or rewiring of, or with the aid of sending external messages to our brain. And there is automation that is uh, happening everywhere. And many people think that what is going to happen? What is going to happen with automation? If automation starts doing everything, what are human beings going to do? And they feel that is a bad thing. But that is not my opinion. I think that is a good thing. If automation does all my mundane and routine tasks, which I'm already bored with, I have time for higher order thinking skills. I have time to think about other things, not worry about going and washing my clothes, or going and getting my car repaired, or going and getting this done, going and getting this done. These are all mundane and routine tasks. Let automation handle it. Let the machine handle it. Let me do things that I love. Maybe watch a movie, entertain myself, or read something, or think about how I can improve something, or how I can create something. So it gives us more time for creativity, it gives us more time to think. And when humans have more time to think, they can create better things. Look at how much we have created in the last 30, 40 years since information technology is around. Okay, we are going to stop there. Do take a break and take 10 minutes break, and or 5 minutes break, and come back, and we'll continue with a few more slides. And yeah, I think we have just another 50, 55 minutes to go. Any questions before you go on a break? All right. Yep. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. See you later.
सुना है ना?
Hi, Funaki, you have just joined. We are at the moment taking a break for another 5 minutes.
Okay.
Funaki, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. We are taking 5 minutes break.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, right. We get started. So I'm going to do the PowerPoint slides for another 20 minutes, and then I'll start looking at the assessments uh, and briefly the lab and the tutorial. Oh, before I share my PowerPoint slides and my screen goes off, any questions? Anyone, any question at all? Okay. So this is the second. This is out of the top 10. This is the second one that ICT is going to make our systems or whatever systems we are using so that they can sense, they can think, and they can act. The third one is we are looking at cyber and trusted systems from denial of service to destruction of service. So, of everything, there is the good side, the bad side, and the very ugly side. ICT is the same, technology is the same. There is technology has been helping us a lot, has been doing a number of good things for us. Just in my earlier example, I indicated how technology has helped us, to do better medical care, taking care of the replacing the organs that we have. Technology has made our travel safer. Nowadays, airplanes, most of them use autopilot and warn the human pilots of any errors or any if they are on a collision course or something. Same thing for shipping. Even on the roads, we are looking at self-driving cars, electric cars, and it has done a lot. But there's the bad side of it, and the bad side is when technology is used for malicious intent, or technology is used for to hack, or to most of the time to gain a monetary advantage. And there are a number of cases. The beginning of this year and probably last year, you must have heard about the ransomware virus, where if you accidentally click on a link sent to you by email, your computer or your laptop will get, all the data will get encrypted and locked. And if you pay the hacker 300 bitcoins or 300 US dollars or something, then they would unlock it. So this is going to increase. Because before there was, most of the time, if you wanted to hack any organization, if you wanted to attack any organization, you would attack an organization's website. For example, if I have a website where I provide information and my users pay to get that information, what a particular hacker or what a cyber attack can do is start flooding my line, my incoming connections with floods of requests. So if you send me hundreds of requests to my web server, my web server has to respond to your request. So if an individual send me hundreds of requests and I'm responding to that request, and I do not have a very powerful web server, then other requests cannot come in. The legitimate, the proper or legal request cannot come in. And that is a simple denial of service attack or denial of service, what would say, denial of service cyber attack. And then there's distributed, DOS, denial of service, or DDoS, distributed denial of service attacks, where these attacks, hundreds of requests comes from a number of distributed computers. And sometimes the web server is so overwhelmed responding to this request that it crashes. And when it crashes, that means my website is down, people cannot get information, I don't get money. Now, things are going to become extreme because, this is what I'm saying, and this is what I learned. Beginning of this year, I attended a course on cyber warfare and terrorism, cyber terrorism. And my professor said that the next world war would not happen between soldiers shooting each other. It is going to happen in cyberspace. And it makes sense. For example, most of our utilities, let's say electricity, is controlled using an information system. Cyber system is controlled by a computer system. So if you want to cripple any country, attack its utility system, bring it down, no electricity, nothing. Or no internet, disconnected, nothing. So there is this, a lot of people are saying that the next war taking place between anyone would be in cyberspace. And we have already seen some examples of it. We have seen examples of China, Russia, North Korea hacking into the United States Department of Defense, hacking into Pentagon, trying to see what they have, trying to get information from there. There was this incident where Russia took out, it is, at the moment, I cannot say that they did, but there are allegations. And of course, these countries will deny. There are allegations that this happened, that Russia attacked Ukraine's utility, computers that control the utility, and took the power out, and took the internet out. And there was this, this is some time ago, I think around 2011, 2012, there was this virus called the Stuxnet virus. And this virus was programmed in such a way that it will only become active and react when it found that it is within a nuclear facility. Okay, it was programmed in such a way that you know how virus propagate. It is transmitted by email. It is transmitted by before we used to have floppy disks. It is transmitted by USB drives. It is transmitted by external hard disk. But most of the time, it is transmitted by emails, because emails have the ability to propagate and get to any part of the world. So these viruses, when distributed by emails, would remain dormant, will remain inactive. And they would look for certain signatures within the network of any organization. And if they found signatures that were referring to centrifuges and referring to uranium or nuclear fusion or nuclear reactors, they would get activated. And this virus was basically programmed as it is again claimed by the United States Department of Defense for Iran's nuclear facility. So a number of things are happening, and things are going to get worse. Okay, I mean, as I said earlier, that most of our facilities, utilities, banks, hospitals, whatever you can think of, are at the moment running under the control of computers or administered under the control of computers. And all of the computers to run, they need power. So what happens if someone attacks and takes out a utility of another country and things like that? So, and if you look at the very first bullet point there, cyber attacks are now the third largest threat facing the world. For most of the hackers, money is still the top motivator. They want to get money from the attacks, and so sometimes they will lock your system and ask for money to unlock it, or sometimes they are just snooping around to get your user accounts or password, your credit card details, and your other details. Okay, and based on this, this regulation came into effect on May 29th of this year. It is called the General Data Protection Regulation. And this General Data Protection Regulation has been introduced by the European Union to be used within the member countries of the European Union. However, it affects any other country that deals with any other country that is a member of the European Union. So, for example, if Fiji has, let's say, a company based in Fiji from UK, it is affected and it is bound by the General Data Protection Regulation. And this General Data Protection Regulation is there to help end users, because we have seen that the end user data has been exploited by corporations, has been exploited by social media websites like Facebook. You would have already read about how Facebook influenced the United States election, in which Donald Trump won and became the president. And there's serious allegations that Facebook, what they did was, Facebook in fact reported that they found around 8,000 accounts on Facebook that were saving advertisements promoting Donald Trump and saying, giving unbiased reports about Hillary Clinton. And, every day you go on Facebook, you find something that Trump will make America great, Trump will do this, Trump will do this, and Hillary Clinton is not good, not good. You sort of get brainwashed. Your opinion gets biased, and when you go and vote in the election, you have already, these Facebook ads, these postings have already made up your mind. And they do not come as regular ads. They come as friends that you know, or they come as friends of your friends. And you are not aware that these are, what they call the bots, the web bots, artificial intelligence Facebook accounts that are just creating all this and trying to sway opinions and what we call the political persuasion. So at the end of the day, we need to get educated to take care of this. And many of the governments have already taken into account the GDPR regulations, because those that do not comply with the General Data Protection Regulations will be fined very heavily. So if you have accounts on Facebook, Gmail, Yahoo, and other accounts whose companies are based within the European Union, you would have already received emails around sometimes in June saying that this is the information we keep about you. Do you want us to continue keeping this information, or do you want your information to be deleted? So what this means is that before anyone can keep information about us, our personal information, they need to get our explicit permission. Okay, one more slide, and then I start looking at other things. And these slides, the rest of the slides are on Moodle, and you can look at it and read it in your spare time later on. So again, this is part of your course content, so we are going to look at it in details. Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, network virtualization, fog computing, and cyber computing for true digital transformation. I mean, we are now moving from this hybrid way of, half automation, half manual, half this, half that, to fully automated. And you must have already seen that, you used to get, I'm not sure about Fiji. I left Fiji some years ago, must be already like more than 15 years ago. But everywhere else, you will find that nowadays most of the movies you can watch in high definition. That is, it is a true digital transformation. Before, what would happen is if you took a photo, it was not in digital format, so you had to convert it to a digital format to be able to use it on your Facebook, or to be put it on a PowerPoint slide or anywhere else. We have come to such a stage that we are now capturing everything in its true digital form, and therefore we are now in a complete, or heading towards a complete digital transformation, because there was a time when it was hybrid. You capture information in its native source, then you convert it to digital format and you use it. It doesn't happen nowadays. I mean, even if you go to supermarkets, you go to the point of sale terminal, they just scan the barcode and all the information is recorded. Cashiers do not press those buttons now. But nowadays, when I used to go to supermarkets in Fiji, the cashier will take a product, look at the price on the product, and then press it on the cash register, the numbers. That is, if it was $1.50, the cashier will press 1.50. It doesn't happen nowadays because it's all scanned. And the chances of making mistakes on both sides. I mean, sometimes the cashier can press an amount that is greater than the product, or sometimes it can press the amount that is less than the product. It doesn't happen anymore. Okay, so Internet of Things has been there. Basically, the Internet of Things was, we had connected our computers, our laptops, and most of the devices to the internet. But that was not enough. We wanted to connect everything else. We wanted to connect our refrigerators to the internet so that we are able to control it remotely. We wanted to connect our doors, our air conditioners, our heating systems, anything we wanted to connect it to the internet, give them an IP address so that we are able to control it remotely. But that didn't make much sense. But now what is happening is things are turning around, and it is being looked at from the personal level, individual level, to the greater level, that is connecting the entire city and controlling it, looking at the traffic flow, looking at the energy, looking at the mobility, all those things. Okay, so what is going to happen is Internet of Things is going to move from this individual way of doing connecting things to a larger network of connecting things. And that is where technologies like artificial intelligence, smart networks, fog computing, blockchains, all the other technologies come in. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop sharing this, go back to video mode. And is there any question before I start looking at the research assignment? Any questions at all? No, everything is good? No question at all? Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to share the screen on the research assignment. This is already on Moodle. This is the research assignment. It's the course outline. Oh, here it is. Okay. Can all of you see this? Someone? Yes, you can?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Right, so this is the major assignment of this course, and the emphasis is on, again, research and writing a research paper. So the total assignment is 30%. Of that, 5% will be assessed when you are going to present your research, and 25% will be assessed when you will hand in your research paper. So the research presentation is due in week 14. You've got 11 weeks for that. And research paper is due in week 15. You've got 12 weeks for that. So you can do this assignment. You can write the research paper individually, or you can do it in groups of 2, or you can do it in groups of 3. Maximum 3, minimum 1. Okay? And what you could do is you can decide amongst yourselves if you want to do it on your own. Some people like to work on their own because they don't want to be, what they say, pulled down by others. Some people like to do it in groups of 2 or groups of 3. So as soon as you can, email to me your group's name and members in your group and the topic that you want to do your research on. Your research presentation will be based on the research paper that you write. Okay? So you guys are all postgraduate students. I do not have to tell you about group dynamics, teamwork, and all those things. So we'll cut that crap out. So what we are looking at is these research papers that you are going to write will be based on the topics that we are going to cover in the course. Some of the topics are going to happen in the later part of the semester. So do not wait until then. Get started, do your research, collect papers, read, and start working on it. Okay? Uh, so it should be, I mean, the objective of this assignment is uh, for you to be able to learn a new topic and learn it well, and be able to assess these new technologies and developments in ICT, explain the impact it will have on society, on business, and on individuals, and the contribution of this technology to the field of information systems. I'm assuming that most of you are either doing a postgraduate diploma in information systems or a master's in information systems, and also contribute to the body of knowledge. I mean, whatever you write must add to the body of knowledge. For example, if you choose to do write a research paper on blockchains, I'm not expecting you to write whatever is already there. We already know what is there. I'm expecting you to come up with something new in a different context and add to the body of knowledge. That's what researchers do. That's what research papers are supposed to do. It is supposed to add to the body of knowledge. Okay? These are the assignment objectives, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Some of the things that you are going to learn is how to write research papers. Once I come on campus, I'm going to probably do a session on I'm not sure whether you have attended, already done a course on research methods and things like that. But I'll briefly do a session on how to write research papers, and I'll show you some shortcuts on referencing and getting information and things like that. But the main objective is to learn how to write a research paper and get a publication paper publication out of this course assignment. So at the end of 12 weeks, or in week 15, you are going to submit your research paper. I'm going to mark it, I'm going to assess it for towards your grade in this course. Later on, I'm going to review and edit it so that you can publish it. And when I'm going to do that, I expect you to add my name to your paper, because that will be my contribution to your paper. And we'll make sure that the paper is of an acceptable quality to an indexed journal. I'll talk more about that later. Okay, so these are the possible research areas for your research paper and presentation. 12 topics. Okay, what you need to be mindful of: for each topic, maximum of 2 groups or individuals will be allowed. The selection is on a first-come, first-served basis. So as soon as you have decided whether you want to do this assignment, that is write a research paper and do the research presentation individually in groups of 2 or groups of 3, send me, email to me that information. Tell me that you want to do research topic 7 and you want to do it alone, or you want to do it with someone else, or you want to do it with 2 other people. As soon as 2 groups or 2 individuals have chosen a topic, that topic is not available anymore. And I'm going to update that on a weekly basis. Which topics are still available, which topics are not available. Okay. So submission, you will do a research presentation in week 14. A 15-minute research seminar should be presented in the lecture and tutorial class in week 14. So in week 14, we will have 3 hours in that week. And if everyone goes 15 minutes each or 10 minutes each, we can cover at least 5, 10, 15 groups. And I don't think we will have more than 15 groups. However, if we need more time, then we will extend it to week 15. This we are going to talk about when we reach like week 12 or something. So if you are doing it individually, you just present for 10 minutes. If you are doing it in a group, you present for 15 minutes and every member of your group will present. If there is 3 in your group, you will go 5 minutes each. If there is 2 in your group, you'll go 7.5 or 7 and 8 minutes each. That's the research presentation, and I expect you to present from PowerPoint slides. Okay. The other one is the research paper. The research paper is due on 26th October 2018. That is week 15 of the semester, 4 p.m. And you will upload it on Moodle, and it will be checked for plagiarism using Turnitin. Okay? And later on, I'll tell you what is the acceptable level of similarity index, because I still need to get this information and to sort things out of what is the usual practice at USP and what is the similarity index. In my current university, I allow students a similarity index of like 20%, because most of the literature review is from other journals, papers, and things like that. So 20% is allowed. I still need to find the threshold for similarity index at the USP. Then going to this research proposal is due 17th of August before 4 p.m. And this, you can email it to me. So as soon as possible, choose your topic and tell me. And by 17th August, that is in another 3 weeks time, that is at the end of week 7, you send me a proposal of your research, minimum 2 pages and maximum 4 pages. And this is what your project proposal outline should have. Okay, I'm going to stop there and look for questions. Any questions about your research paper assignment? No? Nothing at the moment. Maybe you'll look at it, you'll think about it, and you'll get back to me later. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to do some sales and marketing here. What happened here?
I have a question.
Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
Hi, I have a question regarding the research assignment.
Yes, Ruksha.
Looking at the topics, we can see it's quite broad. So when we are doing the research, should we streamline it to a sector?
Yes. This is the reason why I have left it broad, so that you can choose anything under that. If I had said these blockchain applications in education, that would have constrained you from finding a lot to do. Okay, so I've left the topics as broad as possible. I've just said Internet of Things, or blockchain applications, or social computing, or social media, and under that you find something that interests you, and your topic then needs to get narrowed down to something specific. Your actual research paper has to be narrowed down, and you need to focus on something. The scope of it needs to be very definite. Okay, that's why I have left the topics as broad as I have left the topics as broad as possible. There is a question from the chat. Do we have 2 assignments or 1 assignment? There's 2 assignments. This is the second assignment. This is the major assignment. The first assignment, I will give it to you once you have had some practice with the XML codes and HTML codes. Right. What else? So Rukshar, that answers your question?
Yes, it answers the question. Thank you.
Right. So what you do is you look at the topics and read about the topics. And, you know, most of the time, this is what I advise my master's and PhD students is that when you find a particular paper, let's say if I have a master's or PhD students that is wanting to do write a PhD thesis on blockchain applications, I will advise the student go and find a good paper on blockchain applications that has been cited very well by a number of people. And at the end of most papers, there is this section called Future Research Directions. And there the author will specify what can be the future research on the topic. And you choose a topic from there and you are good to go. Okay. Anything else? Any other question? I'll take. I think there's 9 more minutes to go. I'll take a few more questions.
Is anybody asking now?
No, you can ask.
Okay. Okay. Respectively, saying that we are masters or postgraduate students, we are mostly required to review around 10 to 15 papers
Yeah.
for literature review of research.
Yeah.
Does the same thing apply for this course?
Yes, I mean, you know, I mean, later on I'm going to show you my credentials. As an editor-in-chief, if a paper does not have more than 25 references, I do not think that is a good paper. Because that indicates to me the author has not read very well, has not done enough and extensive research on the topic. So at least in your research papers, I'm expecting 25 references and more. In your literature review, I'm looking at least you review anywhere between 15 and 20 papers. I'll talk more about this, and I'll be talking about this research, and I'll be giving you more information as we move along. But yeah, it is a good practice. So how many of you? I mean, maybe you don't want to tell me, yeah, but do email to me if you are already are a master's student and writing a master's thesis, or you intend to do your master's. Do write to me privately. Any other question? Okay, so I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint slides and show you something. This is sort of, you might call it, same as doing sales and marketing, but that's fine. So this is where we were, and let me quickly take you there. So this is gone, there. Okay, research paper assignments I've already talked to you about. So this is the order in which I have listed my preference, okay? And when I say my preference, there's a vested interest in this because, and I'll tell you later in the next slide, why there is a vested interest in this. So from topics 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I have already researched on those. and I am researching on those, and they are my current areas of research. And if you are writing papers on blockchains and cryptocurrencies, there is a possibility that your paper will get published in my journal. If you are writing papers on fog computing, cloud computing, mobile cloud computing, there is a possibility your paper will get published in my journal, because I am the ultimate authority that decides which papers to publish. So I'm a human being, I can favor my students. If you are writing papers on educational technology, there's a possibility that the paper will get published in my journal. So, going back, I hope that you will select papers according to this order. I haven't done much on big data yet. Still to go there. I mean, there's, just one human being, there's not much I can do. I haven't done much on semantic web, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have done a lot. So again, I'm going to stop there, and probably it's time to stop the lecture now. So if you want to see what I have done and the papers that I have published on those topics, you can Google my name. Right. Any final questions before I let you go? Nothing at all? Okay, then, so all good? See you next Thursday? All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for attending.
You.